Record. Okay, so basically, I was walking on the Camino one day and taking notes on little napkins as I was listening to Ra, and I was listening to Rave Psychology. And Ra said, "You can map your not self mind." And that got my attention fully. I was like, I want to map my not self mind. Because the thing is that you are yourself and you are also your not self. Every person's not self is specific to them. There's not some not self in the sky that we all plug into. You are the not self that is your specific open centers, open gates, Hanalei hers and Diaz theirs. So the basic premise is that who we are is who we are, and who we are not is who our mind is trying to tell us to be, basically because of the genetic imperative. The genetic imperative says, mate with somebody who is really different from you so that we can have strong babies and the species will survive. And in a convoluted way, our mind grabs that and decides that we should be who we are not to be stronger. But it's not, that part isn't true. It's just not. We're stronger being who we are than who we are not. And so what I have determined in my experience is that when I can catch my mind delving into not self territory and see it, I can make note. I can actually go, wait, there we are. We're sliding into transference. We're sliding into distraction. And at that moment, the very act of seeing ourselves do it shifts the molecular situation. You know, the whole quantum physics idea where when you observe something, it changes it. And then further, and Ra talks about that. Further, I've taken it to determining that my mind, and I think all of our minds, actually want to be helpful. They're trying to help us. They're not trying to fuck us up. They just don't know how. Nobody ever taught them. And so one of the big things that Ra has said is that the only way that you can have any chance of not living your whole life in not self-fuckery is to educate the mind. And so this course that we've been doing has been my premise that let's educate our minds first, like let's look at the gates that our not self is going to run into, you know, the open gates that are in the open centers. And then second, identify the alarm keys. I made that word up, but I like it. And the alarm keys are the actual sentences that our mind is saying that can catch our attention. So like for me, my view is personal and my distraction is power. And whenever I hear myself say, how can they, whatever else the rest of that sentence is, that's an alarm for me. Because it's not about that. Okay? Whenever I hear, so there's sentences that we can identify that will clue us in that we're sliding into transference. And there's also body sensations and physical clues. And some people can identify more easily the one and some people the other. So it's you know, it's just practice. Like if I start whining, that's definite need, going from fear to need. I can hear my poor mother, stop whining. I think I whined my whole childhood or something. It's horrible. It's a horrible, horrible sound. So that's what we've been doing. And we've been looking at like each person, like let's just go into all the not self. And what I'm seeing is that each person tends to have favorites, favorite not self arenas. And then the last two times we looked at the G center, Philippe, one of our people, has a totally open G, and a couple other people in the class have open Gs. And so we were looking at the G, and just have everyone offering input on that. And then something that Lily has been bringing to my attention for a while, and it's finally sinking in, is that I guess she heard Ra say and then started thinking about it and brought it to my attention. She's a contagion girl. Our true self can send us to transference too. And so that's like even the deeper shit. I don't know if I'm going to come up with an example, but I've been seeing them through the class. It's like, oh, that's in my definition, but I'm still running to transference there. And so what I've been wanting to do with this class, and I like my little recap here. I'm a 3-5. I want things to be practical, or they're not that purposeful to me. And so at this point, we're not quite done with the class, but I wanted to check in with people and see, are you getting anything out of this? Have you identified some alarm keys? Are you aware of them in the moment? Have you been dialoguing with your mind to educate it? At this point, my mind will often tell me that we're going into transference. We're going into transference. We're in distraction now. My mind, and that's the point at which, hi, Lily. That's the point at which
Hi.
The mind starts to become an ally rather than an adversary. So Lily, I've just done a little recap of the Unfuck Your Mind business.